Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our Wednesday night class, reading through the Tanak, the 26th of February 2025. Okay, I was going back looking at the comments and trying to stay on top of those comments and answer questions, and came across one that said, I had class about Noah and the evil spirits after the flood, and the person was saying that an evil spirit or an angel didn't coerce coerce Abraham to sacrifice Isaac. So what I'm gonna do is go back. It's evidently they didn't know where it was at in the scriptures. They must have looked for it, but they couldn't find it. But I'm gonna shine a light on that tonight, and make that part of the class tonight. Deal with that. Mainster, which is the evil spirit that was over the wicked spirits, and then we'll deal with the incident that happened with Abraham and Noah. Abraham and this wicked spirit. Okay, you can go to our YouTube channel, the Prophets of Awakening. Check out our videos. We have over 1,000 or so videos that you can look at and examine, get the meat out. Okay, and the videos will lead you to the truth of the Holy Scriptures. If you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Okay, it'll be greatly appreciated. And for those that want to support the channel, we have our cash app at the bottom of the screen. That too would be greatly appreciated if the channel to move along. Okay. And with that being said, this is a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanak and the Torah. Tanak being the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by our Redeemer and our Savior, the Lord of Hosts. Okay. Shalom and welcome to this channel, and welcome to our reading through the Tanakh. We're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, prayer, Psalms. Then we have some current events, some need to know information, and then we'll open it up for anybody with comments, questions, or any dialogue anything they want to talk about, bring up, and we can deal with it. And then we'll go into our lesson, which is I mentioned earlier, we'll be dealing with the wicked spirits that came about after the flood, after the giants died, and how they coerced the people, Noah and Shem, and the people that was with Noah, and how that they came to Noah for help. And then we'll deal with that. Okay. Then we'll go pick a scripture, which we can do right now. Anybody want to pick a scripture for later on at the end of the class? Okay, so then we'll go and then we'll close out after we come over the scripture. Okay, this moment of silence is for the Lord of hosts, and all of these doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Okay, O Lord, righteousness and uprightness belongeth unto thee. Therefore, we come before thee at this time, at this hour, seeking thy face and looking for righteousness and uprightness, that we may walk before thee as our servants David and Solomon and Samuel and Hezekiah did, that we may walk before thee in truth and in righteousness and in rightness of heart. Give unto us an understanding heart, that we may discern between good and bad. For we desire to walk after thee, O Lord, and to keep your commandments, your testimony, and your statutes with all our heart and soul, to perform the words of the covenant that was written down by your prophet. O Lord, allow thy face to shine upon thy people. Hear our plea, O Lord, hear and do. Hide not thy face any longer, for we need you so very much at this hour. Peace be unto you. Okay? So with that being said, let me read the Psalms. Okay? Okay. I'm going to read Psalms 89. dazzled by Psalms 89, so I'm going to read that. A lot of people don't even know it's in here, but I'm going to read it. Okay, it's God's sure mercies to David. 9, right? So we know who this God is. The Lord of hosts got sure mercy toward David. And the reason being is because David is the Messiah. And by the time I finish reading this, you should have some kind of understanding who David really is, right? So Psalms 89, verse 1, I will sing of the mercies of the Lord forever. With my mouth will I make known thy faithfulness to all generations. So let's look this. We're gonna start right here for a minute. So last night I was dealing with the scriptures, and we was talking about what happened with Zerubbabel, and if he was the one, because the king is anointed in Israel. The high priest and the king are anointed. That's what Messiah means, or Mashiach, or whatever. You got to be anointed with this special oil that's in Deuteronomy chapter 30. It's a special oil that'll be made, and that oil is for the Most High, for the Lord of hosts, and it's for the holy things in Israel. And so if you're not anointed with that oil, you ain't the king. And then even to go even further, if you're not a seed out of David's lineage, there's a breach. So you got to be a seed out of David's lineage on the throne. So we just read right here, it says, I will sing of the mercies of the Lord forever. My mouth, or with my mouth, will I make known thy faithfulness to all generations. So I was showing you how when they came back, those Samaritans, which they're not Israelites, cut the Israelites off from building the temple, just like Gabriel prophesied to Daniel in Daniel chapter 9, verse 25. And so we saw that when they got back and finally got to go ahead to finish the temple, he was cut off. Messiah, like it says, the Messiah was cut off. He was cut off. And so 2 years he was cut off. They stopped him from building the temple. Then Darius searched the records of Cyrus in their archives, and he found where Cyrus had made the commandment, which is in Daniel 9:25, for the Israelites to go back and rebuild the temple. Well, when they went back and after they got cut off and 2 years was up, he sent a letter back and said that he gave them to go ahead and told everybody that was around, all the nations around, not to bother them. If they did, he was going to come and do something to them, right? So we saw that once they started rebuilding the temple, the priest out of Aaron's lineage got in their apparel, lined it up in their order the way it's supposed to be, and the seed of David got in their where they supposed to be at, and stood where they supposed to be, and the priest, right? The priest and the Levites got in their position, and they started singing and worshiping. So the whole time they rebuilding this temple, these Levites singing. So I say it all that to go back and read this again. Psalms 89. I will sing of the mercies of the Lord forever with my mouth, and I will make it known. I will make known thy faithfulness to all generations. What is he talking about? David. They sing on tender mercies that the Most High have to their Messiah, to David. That's what they're singing about. You say, okay, well, what you talking about? Well, let's keep going. For I have said, mercy shall be built up forever. Thy faithfulness shall be established in the very heaven. So they talk about the Lord of hosts, faithfulness. For the Lord of hosts, faithful to somebody, right? Okay. Verse 3. I have made a covenant with my chosen. I have sworn unto David, my servant. That's all about. I keep saying it over and over again. The tender mercies. Lord of hosts got a covenant with David. That's the only reason why, the main reason why we still here. Okay, so it says, I have made, verse 3, I have made a covenant, the Lord of hosts. I have made a covenant with my chosen. I have sworn unto David, my servant. He did. Like I was saying before with Ephraim. At one time, Joseph was alive, and the Creator walked with Joseph. He ain't forgot Joseph. He's an eternal being. That's the only reason Ephraim's still here, because his relationship with Joseph. And so the same thing right here. He says, I have made a covenant with my chosen. I have sworn unto David, my servant. Thy seed will I establish forever. See that? And build up thy throne to all generations. See that? Selah. And how he got a son in heaven. And he got this comfort right here with David. Come on. So anyway, he says, thy seed will establish forever and build up thy throne to all generations. And the heavens, see that? Not on the earth. And the heavens shall praise thy wonders, O Lord, thy faithfulness also in the congregation of the saints, as in the temple. For who in the heavens can be compared unto the Lord? Who among the sons of the mighty can be likened unto the Lord? Now, let me break this down. So you got Negroes hollering about, it's the Lord. Hold on. It's the Lord. He is one. He won. It's Yahweh this, it's Yahweh this, Yahweh that, right? Let's look at it. Okay. Let's look at it. Let's read this. Verse 5. And the heavens shall praise thy wonders, O Lord, thy faithfulness also is in congregation of the saints. For who in the heavens, check it out, who in the heavens can be compared unto the Lord? Now watch this. Who among the sons, they ain't talking about Yahweh. See that? Who among the sons of the mighty can be likened unto the Lord? So whoever this Lord is a son of Yahweh. He's an angel. He's a watcher. But ain't nobody compared to him. That's what these Negroes not getting. Read it again. For who in the heavens can be compared unto the Lord? Who among the sons of the mighty? That's where he at. He one of the sons of, he one of the mighty ones. See that? The mighty can be likened unto the Lord. God is greatly to be feared in the assembly of the saints, and to be held in reference of all them that are about him. So back to what I said. He says in the assembly of the saints, the high holy days. Yahweh ain't coming down on no high holy day. He can't. He'll burn the whole congregation up. So the Lord of hosts come down. I told you, David said, before the Lord. They burning, they making sacrifices. They burning the fat before the Lord. He's there. So it says in 7, God is greatly to be feared in the assembly of the saints. He in the assembly with them. See that? And to be had in reference to all them that are about him. Ain't nobody about Yahweh. You can fumble with it if you want. Ain't nobody about Yahweh. Okay? So anyway, 8, O Lord God of hosts, who is a strong Lord, likened unto thee, or to the faithfulness round about thee. Thou rulest the rages of the sea, when the waves thereof arise, thou stillest them. Thou hast broken Rahab in pieces, as one that is slain, and thou hast scattered thy enemies with a strong arm. The heavens are thine, the earth also is thine. As for the world and the fullness thereof, thou hast founded them. The north and the south, thou hast created them. Tabor and Hermon shall rejoice in thy name. So let's explain this. We got some people that so-called scholars. Verse 12 say, the north and the south, thou hast created them. Tabor and Hermon shall rejoice in thee. So what he's talking about? He's talking about what he's saying. So this angel Michael is he who creates. He who's like Yahweh, that's his name. He who creates. So he's the creating spirit. So that's why when you in Genesis, the Lord of hosts said, make the light. Then he made it. Both two of them there. He's the Lord of hosts. Yahweh is in Genesis 1:1, and Michael was on the water in Genesis 2. And Yahweh says, make the light, or make this, and he make it. And then he look, then Yahweh look at it, and then he says good. So look what it say. The north and the south thou hast created. See that? Created them. Tabor and Hermon shall rejoice in thy name. Thou hast a mighty arm, strong in thy hand, and high in thy right hand. Justice and judgment are the habitation of thy throne. Mercy and truth before thee. Blessed is the people that know the joyful sound. They shall walk, O Lord, in the light of thy countenance. In thy name shall thou rejoice all the day, and in thy righteousness shall they be exalted. So right here, a lot of people can't understand why you got so many people that's sucked in by JC, right? Let me get this. Okay. You got so many people that sucked in by this, but it says right here, verse 16, in thy name shall they rejoice all the day. In the righteousness shall they be. So ain't that what the JC is? Ain't that what they tell us? JC says that he come in his Father's name. So all they've done was suck JC where the Lord of hosts is at. JC ain't coming in his name. It's the Lord of hosts that's got his name. That's what it means. He who can create. He who is like Yahweh. It's not JC. They on the chessboard, and in order to obtain the wealth of the world and to rule and dominate the world to where it's at today, they took the Lord of hosts and he allowed them to and knocked him off the chessboard. Put JC there. Okay. And they did such a good job to Negroes holler that's Jesus. Okay. So 17, well, thou art the glory of thy strength, and in thy favor our horn shall be assaulted. So the horn is David. David is our horn, right? For the Lord is our defense, and the Holy One of Israel is our king. Then thou spakest in a vision. See this? This is what a lot of people not getting. Then thou spakest in a vision to thy Holy One and said, I have laid up help upon. So this Psalms 89, I'm on verse 19. We started out, and he told you in verse 3, I have made a covenant with my chosen. I have sworn unto David, my servant. So you won't be no doubt. Jesus ain't there. Ain't no misprint. Okay, then you get to 18. For the Lord is our defense, and the Holy One of Israel is our king. Then thou spakest in a vision to the Holy One and said, I have laid help upon one that is mighty. I have exalted one chosen out of the people. I have found David. See that? My servant with my holy oil. I told you that. Deuteronomy 30. Have I anointed him? I mean, how much more we got to say? This coming all the way from 3,000 years ago. Okay? 21. With whom my hand have established, and my arm also strengthened him. The enemy shall not exact upon him, nor the sons of wickedness afflict him. I will beat down his foes before their face and plague them that hate him. But my faithfulness and my mercy shall be with him, and in my name shall his horn be exalted. See that? I will set his hand also in the sea, talking about David, and his right hand in the rivers. Remember that right there. I'm gonna read it again. It says, I will set his hand. He did right here. It says, I will set his hand also in the sea and his right hand in the rivers. That's what they say JC gonna do when he come back. That's where they get that from. He shall cry unto me, thou art my father. That's what JC said. My God and the rock of my salvation. Also I will make him my firstborn, higher than the kings of the earth. Right? My mercy will I keep for him, forevermore. They want to pounce on Isaiah 53 to him in Isaiah 53. Suck on this hymn right here, right? My mercy will I keep for him forevermore, and my covenant shall stand fast with him. His seed also will I make to endure forever, and his throne as the days of heaven. So how he got son? He got a son down on the throne when he already all he doing right here for David and David's throne. His seed also will I make to endure forever, and his throne as the days of heaven. If his children forsaken my law and walk not in my judgment, if they break my statutes and keep not my commandments, then will I visit their transgressions with a rod and their iniquity with stripes. There goes the suffering servant right there. Say, then will I visit their transgressions with a rod and their iniquity with stripes. Nevertheless, my loving kindness will I not utterly take away from him, and suffer my faithfulness to fail. My covenant will not break. I will not break nor alter the thing that is gone out of my lips. Once I have sworn by my holiness that I will not lie unto David. How many times he got to say this? Okay, his seed shall endure forever, and his throne as the sun before him. It shall be established forever as the moon, as a faithful witness in heaven. Selah, for thou hast cast off and abhorred, and thou hast been wroth with thine anointed. Thou hast made void the covenant of thy servant. Thou hast, excuse me, hast profaned his crown by casting it down to the ground. Thou hast broken down all his hedges. Thou hast brought all his stronghold to a ruin. All that pass by the way spoil him. He is a reproach to his neighbors, but has set up the right hand of the adversary, and has made all his enemies to rejoice. So let's read that because it's important. These are Edomites he's talking to. Thou hast set up the right hand of the adversary. That's JC. When they came in, the New Testament in JC. That's where we at. You set up the hand of his adversary, and has made his enemies to rejoice. Thou hast also turned the edge of the sword, and has not made him stand in battle. Thou hast made his glory to cease. Cast his throne down to the ground. The days of his youth hast thou shortened. Thou hast covered him with shame. Selah, Lord, wilt thou hide thyself forever? Shall thy wrath burn like fire? Remember how short my time is, wherefore hast thou made all men in vain. What man is he that liveth and shall not see death? Shall he deliver his own soul? Ain't that what JC did? From the hand of the grave? Selah, Lord, where are thy former loving kindness, which thou hast sworn unto David in truth? Remember, Lord, the reproach of thy servant, how I bore in my bosom the reproach of all the mighty people, wherewith thine enemies have reproached, O Lord, wherewith they have reproached the footsteps of thy anointed. Blessed be the Lord forevermore. Amen and amen. That was Psalms 89, God's sure mercies toward David. Any comments on that? Anybody got any comments? Okay, so with that being said, okay.
Well, I just want to say that, you're definitely in your element in explaining this, the breadth and width of how Zerubbabel will have nothing to do with this Messiah. But as we were talking about earlier, it's a shame because there are plenty of point-to-point explanations that are very simple that make that point, and yet people still reject it, and it's sad because it's very clear. So why is it that they don't receive it? I mean, like we said earlier, it says in scripture that he's going to send a famine, not of bread and but of knowledge that even though that'll be explained to them, they won't see it. And it seems like that's what we're experiencing right now with a lot of our folks.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. Exactly right. Okay. Somebody else?
Shalom, this is Tramika.
Okay.
I just wanted to say, it seems like basically we have to unlearn everything that we've been taught and start over and relearn
Exactly.
because the
You're
stuff been
exactly right.
passed down so long, and it's kind of hard for some people to um, want to even learn something different because they've been going by what their grandma and their mother and everybody done taught them to believe, when we went to church, you know what I mean? And we couldn't question nothing. If you question something, well, you told you couldn't question nothing, you
Right.
know. So that's what I'm gathering from it. It's just that some people refusing to because they just want to go by. They just refusing to because of what they've been taught. And you just basically have to unlearn everything and start over. That's what it seemed like to me.
Right. That's what you have to
And I feel
do.
like a disservice has been done to us. It's so bad that
Right.
it's so deep. To
Right.
me, the way they went out their way to hide so much stuff, and it's in plain sight. Now you are finding more people that are willing to listen
Right.
than when I was coming up.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's
That's
all.
all.
You have to. You have I know what happened with me, and I see that happen to a lot of people that we have conversations and then they start waking up. Is you get first, but you know what I'm saying, because you can't believe that you got people out there that lied, that just deliberately lied to everybody the way that they did. But you got to get past that. Right. Anybody
I
else?
just want to say that, it's true. It's very difficult to pick out what the truth is and what's not true because we've heard so many different versions of it that we're really confused. I basically, what the way I did it was I threw the baby out with the bathwater and started from scratch, like I never read it at all. I didn't want anybody to tell me what it meant. I took the time. I didn't go and do the step that they said do two chapters a day, whatever. I didn't do it that way, but I went from the beginning to the end to understand it. So basically, the best way is to start from scratch. Throw the baby out with the bathwater, and I think that's probably the best approach.
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah. So he got a creator got a system in place, and that's why I was saying when you understand that system, you understand who the self servant is. So I was the other day in Deuteronomy uh, chapter 18 when he brought Levites to himself. He started out with 12 tribes. Then when the Lord of hosts, once he got them, gave them the laws and the commandments and all that, he took the Levites to himself. And so what was the purpose of that? They are they in agreement with him on the laws, causing the people to keep the law. And not only that, they read when they had those high feast days and the Shabbat and all that. The high priests, and the priests and the Levites, they read to the people, and the Levites was there to cause them to understand it. That's what the Levites is there for, and the priesthood is to cause them to understand it. Just like with Melchizedek before the flood, he says that Melchizedek brought people to the Lord through his knowledge, and then they rebel. So and that's what so many people getting misconstrued. Think when they say that it's only one God, that no, Yahweh got a strong one that's doing all this beating. So and the Lord of hosts got Melchizedek. He ain't the people ain't directly dealing with the Lord of hosts. They're dealing with the representative he got on the earth. So when that representative come in your area and you spurn him, you gonna catch some hell. You got to be able to discern or who it is that he done sent. Right. Ain't that something? Okay. Anybody else? And so that's what's gonna happen. When you it's nothing that's not gonna happen that's not in his will. Because if you get into this, get to the point where this information is coming across your path or in your ears, he got somebody that'll help you understand it. You know, and it ain't helter skelter. You after a while you start to learn that, and then you come across something and you say, well, blah blah this. I'm reading this, but I'm not understanding it. It ain't nothing to worry about. Give it a day or two, or a couple of weeks or whatever. It's gonna come right on the pipe. It's gonna bring it right to you, and after a while, you start to be able to discern that. That's how that works. So it ain't no accident. Go ahead.
Shalom. I want to say when I was growing up, and I, like everybody else, was in the church and everything, but I always thought it different. Going some houses and the JC was black, and going some houses and the JC was white. So at an early age, I was a little confused about that. And then when you go to churches and they say pray and they'll help you, and then when you go for help, and then they ask you if you got your house in order and all of this kind of stuff, and they wouldn't help you, but then they would have all this luxurious stuff and all of that. So it seemed as if it was like a con game or a setup or something to me early on. And so, like you said, in connecting the dots, when you start studying and you can start putting those things together, that they really don't add up. Because if you start in Genesis and he is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow, then why did he change in the New Testament? So
Right.
that right there really broke the ice for me, because he doesn't change, and then he is a Lord of discipline. So if we're passing everything by and we're not disciplining, we're going back to having what we have now, the Sodom and Gomorrah lifestyle on every part of these different continents. Is it's just, everybody's doing their own thing, just
Right.
like when he gave the first laws, and then they didn't want those laws, and then he had to give more laws, but the first laws are the laws to keep the
Right.
commandment and keep the Sabbath. Because once they changed the Sabbath and took it off the solar and put it on the lunar, that kept changing it all the time. So
Right.
you have to go with that law in order
Right.
to be able to constantly receive and fast and pray and cry out and learn the word, and then it will start connecting and it will get there. You just have to continue to apply yourself. Shalom.
Right. Okay. So anybody else have anything before we move forward? Yeah. So we go to our current events.
The revolutionary bloc set up by Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso has been hard at work. Since its first summit was held in June 2024, the newly formed bloc has been setting certain things in the bloc for its operation. As you know, part of the reason why the bloc was established was to combine resources to fight the insecurity that has plagued the region for decades. As a result, the bloc has formed its own military force, a feat the regional bloc, ECOWAS, has never achieved. Recently, in support of the military force, Russia provided some weapons and military specialists to help fight the insecurity. In this video, we will analyze the AES joint force and the support provided by Russia. When the foreign ministers of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso announced on December 1st, 2023, that the three countries had plans to establish a confederation, Africans were filled with joy because this is something every true Pan-African wishes for, and it's a step to achieving African unity. At the time, the foreign ministers announced that top diplomats from each of the three countries had met in Bamako for 2 days, where they had discussions on ironing out the workings of the new alliance between the three countries. They also emphasized the importance of diplomacy, defense, and development to consolidate political and economic integration. The foreign minister of Mali, Abdoulaye Diop, then noted that recommendations will be submitted to each head of state, who are due to meet in Bamako at an unspecified date. We all waited patiently for when the Confederation would be operational. Finally, in July 2024, the bloc had its first summit, officially announcing the formation of the bloc. And now, as one of its first operations, the bloc is set to deploy a joint force of 5,000 soldiers to combat terrorism and transnational organized crime in the Sahel region. As we said at the beginning of the video, the AES was created by Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso to pool their efforts to combat insecurity and promote socio-economic development in the Sahel region, which is considered the poorest region in Africa. Although rich in resources and has geographical importance because of its location, the region has not developed since independence because of exploitation by the West, particularly France in conjunction with greedy African leaders. However,
so you say, why am I playing this, right? So if you go back to when he lights out of Egypt and he brought them to the land of Israel, he was in the temple. They had the tabernacle in the wilderness at first. Then they built the temple, and it was explained to them how to I think it was Malachi, not Malachi, but Micaiah, how that and it's in the book of Jubilees, how that the angels in heaven was everything that we doing, that we read about the Israelites doing when they, or our culture after we became a nation. The angels have been doing it from day one in heaven. So once he brought his people on the earth together and lined them up, so when they keeping the feast days and the high holy days in Jerusalem, the same thing is happening in heaven. Okay, and so that order was thrown off when the temple in Jerusalem was destroyed, and Antioch, the abomination that make it desolate, and they scattered the Israelites, scattered our word and all that all over the place. That's why the earth is the way it is. But what we witnessing, right, and it ain't for everybody, is that's coming back together. If you look at everything, you can see he's bringing back the people back to where they was at, to that land where they was at, and rebuild the temple and line everything back up. That's all you're looking at. And so I was watching this video. I'm gonna find it when I get off here, and I'm gonna put it on Messenger. But this black guy was talking about how the 4 rivers in Genesis, and the 4 rivers show you where the Garden of Eden was at and where Israel was at. He's showing you the 4 rivers. We looking at them. They're over there in Africa. So in that area where those 4 rivers are at is where Jerusalem is. Well, that's what Sahel at. And so what you're looking at is he bringing that back together. Just like he scattered it, he bringing it back together. But because we've been lied to and don't really have that spirit on them, most of the people they don't see none of that. They looking at they all on some old Gentile stuff, but it's happening right in front of our face. He lining it right back up like he did before. Okay. Any comments? Okay, let me go keep going. Okay.
Do this 7 minutes a day until April 1st.
Something interesting. Many countries started pulling back on how much U.S. government debt they held. Out of 20 major economies that usually invest in U.S. Treasury bonds, 16 decided to cut back. Some of the biggest drops came from the United Kingdom, which reduced its holdings by $44.1 billion, Japan by $27.3 billion, and Saudi Arabia by $15.1 billion. Other countries trimmed their investments too, though by smaller amounts, China by 9 points.
So you see what they're doing now with this, with Trump and all this 2025. They're attacking us, right? When our time is up, tribulation is up. Tribulation started when Antioch Epiphanes came. We at the end of the tribulation, and they still wants to assume that it's business as usual. But while they're attacking us, the Lord of hosts attacking them.
$6 billion, Switzerland by $9.7 billion, and India by $14.9 billion. So why the sudden pullback? It seems many global investors and central banks were feeling cautious. They were concerned about what Trump's policies might mean for the economy and didn't want to get caught off guard by any surprises. This isn't a new strategy. Countries that invest heavily in U.S. debt keep a close eye on things like trade policies, interest rates, and diplomatic moves. If they sense anything unpredictable or risky, they often scale back to avoid potential losses. One big concern is how much money the U.S. government plans to borrow. If investors think upcoming policies might weaken the dollar or balloon the national debt, they might see U.S. treasuries as less appealing. When lots of foreign investors sell off these bonds, it can push up interest rates, making it more expensive for the U.S. government to borrow money. This doesn't just hit Washington. It can also mean higher costs for Americans and businesses, like pricier mortgage rates or more expensive business loans. And here's the bigger picture. If this trend of selling off U.S. debt continues, it might make people question the strength of the U.S. dollar as the go-to currency for global trade and savings. For decades, the U.S. dollar has been the king of global finance. But when foreign countries start pulling back from U.S. government debt, it raises eyebrows. If this keeps happening, it could signal a slow shift toward other safe haven assets, like euro-backed bonds, different major currencies, or even old-school gold. Trade deals using yuan and rubles instead of dollars. India and Iran have also explored similar setups, making it easier to bypass US-controlled financial channels. Another big move has been building alternative banking systems to get around SWIFT, the global messaging network.
Yeah, so that's another one of those things I was talking about. You have to be able to see it. Because, like I said, when we went into captivity in Babylon, the Most High sent Nebuchadnezzar. He raised Nebuchadnezzar up for that very purpose. And Nebuchadnezzar came, got his righteous seed. And that's what we have to understand. Ain't nothing gonna happen to you if you doing what you best you can with the Creator, trying to you got your neck stuck out trying to connect with Him and find out all you can from Him. Ain't nothing gonna happen. You got a good basket, you got a bad basket. If you're in a good basket, you're good. So he sent Nebuchadnezzar and tore down the temple, right? And burned all the houses in Jerusalem. And he took that righteous seed, the good seed, and took them to Babylon. Okay? And he told Jeremiah to tell them, you're going to be there 70 years. That goes over the Christian age. He says you're going to be there for 70 years. Okay? When they came out, after the 70 years, when they came out, it wasn't the Chaldeans that delivered them. The Chaldeans took them into Babylon, but the Chaldeans didn't bring them out. Cyrus, the second beast, the Medes and Persians, Cyrus, Darius, and Artaxerxes. That's who he used to bring them out. We look at the same thing now. We keep on looking, we keep on trying to deal with the Americans. And we already see how wicked the hell they is. But look who on the scene. Russia, China, BRICS. That's who he gonna use to get us out of here. He used America was to come and get us, bring us into this captivity, into this hellhole. You've seen all the atrocities that they done bringing us here and over the years, and they all of a sudden now they're gonna do the right thing. You saw what he had to do. He had to skin the Pharaoh. So it's not the Americans that finna release us. He's finna break the Americans back. They ain't got nothing else to do with the party. That's what we're looking at. All you have to do is look at how you operate. Russia and China. Like I said, right now over there, Tory would have been dead. And them other two brothers in Mali and Niger, they been dead if Russia wouldn't have came in there and with their army and backed them. That's the Lord of hosts. That's how you operate. All you can see him bringing everything back together. Just a matter of time, and they gonna decide it, just like the Pharaoh did. He said he brought 9 plagues, sent Moses back in there. Then the Pharaoh, he jumps up and holler, "I don't want to see you no more. If I see you again, I'm gonna kill all your firstborn." Not knowing he pronounced his last punishment on his own self. Same thing they doing. They're gonna speed it up because of what they doing to us. The players already on the scene. We just going down the road, Prince Road. Most 90% of the Negroes going down Prince Road. Okay. So with that being said, go to some need to know information. I was telling you how, like I said, they got all this surveillance and everything. We wrapped up in surveillance. Everything you do, you being watched. So don't think they don't know that it's Negroes that don't give a dime about JC and the New Testament and none of that ideologies. And so they don't want that to catch fire. And so that's why you've seen, like I said before, all these nutbuckets coming out hollering about Jesus is black. The Pope said he's black and such and such. Well, check this out. Okay.
This is the one that requires the most faith. The most faith and the most belief, yeah, resurrection. Yeah.
History isn't just written, it's painted, sculpted, and passed down through generations. But what happens when the truth is buried beneath centuries of misrepresentation?
Now, it's the truth.
What if the image of Jesus that billions of people have accepted for centuries isn't just inaccurate, but intentionally altered? Mel Gibson, the man behind The Passion of the Christ, has dropped a bombshell. He claims Jesus is black, and he says he has the proof to back it up. Could this revelation rewrite everything we thought we knew about history and faith? And what exactly is Gibson's proof? Join us as we uncover the shocking evidence behind Mel Gibson's claim that Jesus wasn't who we've always imagined him to be. Before diving into Mel Gibson's claim, we need to understand something surprising. The image of Jesus that most people recognize today is not based on an actual historical record. Instead, it has been shaped and reshaped over centuries by art, culture, politics, and even colonial influence. The evolution of the image of Jesus. If you traveled back in time to the first few centuries after Jesus lived, you might not even recognize him in the artwork of the time. The earliest known images of Jesus found in the Roman catacombs from the 3rd century do not show him with long hair or a beard. Instead, he appears as a young, beardless man, often dressed in a simple tunic. In some images, he carries a lamb over his shoulders, a gentle and familiar figure.
So not to the day of the point where we waking up and, you know, it used to be anything you tell the Negro, he believe it. But now that we where we at, he jumps up and says this right here. So he just stuck his foot in his mouth because he said the images they got of Jesus when he was young was he was a young beardless man. How the hell you gonna be like with no beard? Let that frame out. So they just digging a deeper hole because we wide awake. You got Negroes out there that's wide awake. And the more they do, the further they fall in the hole. It ain't working no more. What they did before, it ain't working no more. Okay. See, somebody trying to enter the studio. I don't know who that is. Okay, someone is trying to enter the studio. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So he just stuck his own foot in his mouth. How you got an image? How is this? How is it? He's real. You're Hebrew. You're supposed to be real, but he ain't got no beard. And then you got the story. You got in over here where they in Micah where he's supposed to pluck the hair out of his beard. But you just showed us he ain't shaving. He's shaving. That's a Greek. The Greeks the one. They the sweet boys with they shaving all the hair off of their body. It's like, man, that's an abomination. Well, it's like, man, they have no beard. Come on.
Meant to symbolize the Good Shepherd. Why was Jesus portrayed this way? The answer lies in the world of early Christians. Many of them lived under Roman rule, and their faith was still new and sometimes even dangerous to practice openly. To make Jesus more relatable, early artists borrowed styles from Greek and Roman gods. One of the strongest influences was Apollo, the youthful god of light and truth. By depicting Jesus in a similar way, these early Christians hoped to make him more familiar and approachable to non-believers. But not everyone agreed on what Jesus should look like. In the Eastern Roman Empire, in places like Syria, Egypt, and Turkey, Christian art took a different direction. There, he was sometimes shown with short, curly hair, darker skin, and large, expressive eyes, features more in line with the local population of the time. One of the earliest and most shocking references to Jesus' appearance comes from a piece of graffiti known as the Alexamenos graffito, scratched into a Roman wall around the year 200. This crude drawing mocks a Christian by showing a man with a donkey's head on a cross. While meant to be an insult, it proves that even in the early centuries, people were debating what Jesus looked like. Everything changed in the 4th century when Emperor Constantine made Christianity the official religion of the Roman Empire. Suddenly, Jesus was no longer a figure of quiet humility. He needed to look like a divine ruler. This led to the creation of one of the most famous images in Christian history, Christ Pantocrator, seen in ancient churches like Son of God. British medical artist Richard Neve and a group of forensic experts used a real 1st century Jewish skull from Israel.
Neve's image shows a dark-skinned man with dark eyes, a wide nose, a short beard, and short curly hair, as well as a tan complexion.
And applied forensic techniques to reconstruct what a man from Jesus' time and region would have looked like. The result? A broad-faced man with a strong nose, dark curly hair, and a darker complexion. Very different from the pale-skinned, blue-eyed Jesus in Western paintings. Many scholars agree that Jesus' skin tone was likely darker than what Renaissance art showed.
So you know how much is at stake? You know, to let that get out, that you know what we talking about. So to stop the bleeding, yeah, we're gonna say he black. We're gonna concur to that, but ain't nothing changed. Cause he don't exist. There ain't no son. Most High had no son in the bosom. But look at all the, I mean, this when they concocted this right here, that's where all the revenue at. The trillions and trillions of dollars and the money and the reason where they at and where we at. So they'll concede and let him be black. Just don't let these Negroes throw him away. Okay? That's what you're looking at. They trying to stop the bleeding, but like I said, Most High already spoke that, you know, the truth is gonna rise and the lies are gonna fall to the ground. That's where we at. You can pour the spirit out on these people, and they waking up. And they trying to cut it off. Okay. Any comments? The question.
Shalom. When the Lord of Hosts gave the first laws and they didn't do it, and he said that, that he'd give Moses' generation and he made these covenants. That was it. It was cut off. That was it. It's generation after generation after generation. It's nothing new that he's going to do, because he's already said it. And he said that those that will receive will be the generations, or even those that will be cursed will be those generations. So we're in the generations right now. And like you said, Brother Leonard, the things that are happening, and as we continue to connect the dots, we're seeing these things that are happening through the generations.
Right, exactly. Okay. Let me answer this question right here. So it says, should we not be more discerning of the message rather than the messenger, as the Creator not yet proved to work through us? I'm hoping you're listening. I mean, if it's a lie, why would you want to deal with it? When you rightly divided it and you see that it's a lie, what is the messenger or whoever it is? The whole thing is a lie, and it's leading everybody out down the wrong road. So I mean, I'm not understanding what you're saying. And what's the discerning? There ain't nothing to be discerned about. Read Psalms 89. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? We're gonna open it up for some Q&A. Anybody have any questions, comments about anything they came across they want to talk about, anything they heard?
But I just want to say that they fashioned the image of JC after Caesar Borgia, which is the son of one of the kings.
Pope. That was Pope Anderson.
Yeah.
Fifth Pope.
And then they started revealing the Black Jesus. I think they started figuring out. We were starting to look into it and find there was something just not right. So they figured, let's throw out the Black Jesus and keep them going with this whole Jesus thing,
Right, right. They monitoring us. Like I said, all this on social media. You think all this? He told us that the knowledge is going to increase in the last days. That's what the social media all about. Monitor us. Like I said, look how long I've been on here. And you talking about 860 subscribers, and then you got nut buckets with 1 million subscribers. Ain't talking about nothing. So they then talking about algorithms. They dictating it and manipulating it because you can't. This can't catch fire. Ain't nobody gonna want to listen to nothing they got to say. People find out that JC ain't nothing. That's what this is all about. They trying everything they can to cut this off, but it's prophesied. The Most High gonna bring it down. If he destroys Jerusalem, he gonna destroy this. It's an abomination. Okay?
The big deal is that very clearly that the Christians always hold up these scholars that they know everything, but it's the scholars themselves are saying that the first 5 books, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, that these were not the authors of those books. And if they were supposed to be the witnesses, then there is no witnesses to what they're claiming to be was this JC,
Right, exactly. Right, and it's becoming more and more evident, and the reason being is that he's raising some of his people up to go right in the Old Testament. You can see it, like what I just done. Psalms 89. 7 times he mentioned David. He made a mistake. The God of Israel made a mistake. He didn't know that it's Jesus instead of David. That's what we had. And then you keep, I mean, like I said before, go back to me. I don't know about nobody else. I know me. Go back to I'm always watching everything, and looking at everything, watching how it works. And you go back and you look at the church. Like I said, we know about the boule and all that. Well, who the first Negro in the church on Sunday? The boule. They're the first ones in the church. The ones that went and got an education. They got a master's degree and all that. They're the first ones in the church. I got supposed to have all this knowledge, but when somebody come with some information this simple and show you that he don't exist, they ain't because you done open and close too many doors dealing with them. You can't, the mind is off. You can't, that's where we at. So that's, and you got to look at that. And they're going to keep trying to find every possible way to make it work. Like I said before, with what I did last night with Zerubbabel. If somebody showed me that, come on, you've been told that in Daniel 9:25, that Messiah in Daniel 9:25 is Jesus, and then it get broken down to you to the last compound, and you can see that it ain't none of him, but you steady trying to find a way to make it work. Oh, you've been duped. It's the same way when you go home, you meet down the corner 2 or 3 times at the corner by the gas station, and you get into a conversation with them, and then you befriend them, and y'all get the conversation back and forth. Then you go out of town, come back, and your house robbed. Then you find out later it's that same Negro that befriended you. You got duped. Simple as that. It's the same way with this. Now you see that he don't exist. But ain't none of him. You got to do something else. You can't keep on trying to work. It don't work. It's that simple. And it's at the point now to keep going back and forth talking about it. It's come on, man. It's crazy. Anybody else? Okay, let me play this last video, then we'll go into the class. Okay. Like I said, time ran out. You just got a little more time to be coming on here and trying to bring up JC and stir it up. We at the end of that.
Are going to rest. A lot of people are. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Well, right now here in America, a lot of people are in that finding out phase, if you know what I mean. So white America and MAGA are crying and exposing the real truth about what's going on with Elon Musk and Donald Trump. They are bringing out their real agenda. There's going to be some who are going to say some things that are going to resonate with you because it's the truth, right? So they're exposing the real Trump and Elon agenda with these videos that are just taking off on the internet right now. Before getting into this, I want you to go ahead and like the video if you like our content. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy the truth, subscribe to the channel. Of course, hit the notification bell so that you can be notified each and every time we upload. Then, if you got something to say, drop it in the comment section. So anyway, we are going to get into this. So white America is responding in a way that it's kind of tripping me out right now, because we did see that a lot of people going into this really supported Trump and everything he spoke about, even though he said some things that were highly questionable. You have even immigrants who are coming forward saying, wait a minute, I heard him say that, but I guess I really wasn't paying attention and I thought he was going to make my life better, but now he's sending them away. So it's like people weren't really hearing what was being said. Very strange stuff indeed. But Anyway, white America, they are responding in a way that is kind of tripping me out because, of course, you have those who didn't support him from Jump Street. They already knew what was up. And then you have the MAGA group. That's the group right there that's tripping me out because before the election results came in, these people were diehard Trumpers, as if there was nothing he could say or do to ever get them to turn on him. But many of them are turning in record numbers. They are highly regretting their vote, but it is too late. So now they feel like they can only echo their voices on the internet. So I want you to take a listen at some of what's being said. Again, some of these people were not really Trump supporters. Some of them were, on the other side of this, but they are speaking out and saying, hey, this is what you wanted, this is what you got, just like everybody else is saying, right? And some are crying because their lives have been turned upside down. I've heard even Trumpers who work for the government who had no idea he was coming for their jobs. Like I said before, a lot of people were okay when they thought he was going after Black jobs, right? DEI jobs. They thought they were okay with that. But now that the truth has come out, that everything is on the chopping block, these people are taking to the internet and they are crying. Some real boo-hoo tears. But anyway, take a listen at some of this expose that is happening in this video clip. And some of them, of course, are talking about their woes and their situations as well. It's kind of like a mixed bag. So take a listen at this. Of course, I will be right back.
Make America great again is a bad thing. You took my tip away. I didn't mean to disrespect you. It's my livelihood. This is how I make my money. I think it's super disrespectful for you to treat me that way.
We voted for Trump. He promised while he was campaigning like a million times that when he got into office, he was going to bring down prices, bring down grocery prices. The inflation has been high ever since COVID, and he promised he would bring that down. But it's obvious to me now that that was not true.
A county that overwhelmingly supported Donald Trump is about to lose its largest employer directly because of Donald Trump's policies. This is Greene County, Tennessee, which is home of Artisan and who is the only supplier of penny blanks to the U.S. Mint. And because of Donald Trump's policy to eliminate the penny, they are on the verge of going out of business, which means everybody there will lose their job. Now, there's a trickle-down effect because the people that work there make the money to keep the other businesses in the county in operation. Now, they're begging Donald Trump, please, to reconsider this decision to eliminate the penny, but Donald Trump isn't listening.
Some folks who aren't feeling Trump's optimism right now are American farmers, and they are stuck in the middle of all of this.
Frank, who did you vote for president?
Mr. Trump.
Right?
Trump.
We didn't have choices when it comes to grilling products.
Okay.
Trump.
If the election were today, Frank, would you vote for Donald Trump?
No way. Couldn't happen.
You voted for President Trump. So now, in the moment you say you're in a free fall, what is your message to him?
So I'm off the Trump train. Where I'm going for now is I got to protect my business.
A wheat farmer who says he's lost $400,000 since Trump took office.
I think there was a lot of people who voted for him that want to stay loyal to him, but it's going to get to the point where financially, if it's between supporting the president or losing your family farm.
Look at that most recent press conference in the Oval Office. Who was talking? Elon. Elon was running his mouth while his kid picked his nose beside the impotent commander-in-chief. And that is not good. That's not good for any one of us. America is being played by the world's richest man. Let's be clear. There's not a voter in America that doesn't want to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse in government. There's not a Democrat or Republican or independent out there that's just like, yeah, let's let the government waste all of our tax dollars because who cares? Everybody wants the government to be responsible with our money. But what Elon is doing with our agencies and departments has nothing to do with our money and everything to do with his money. If we really wanted to save money, the very first agency the newly minted Department of Government Efficiency should have audited would have been the Department of Defense, since it's the second largest category of government spending, and the Pentagon has failed its annual audit 7 years in a row. In fact, it hasn't passed an audit since the Department of Defense became required to have audits because they didn't account for where their money was going. But did DOGE start there? No. DOGE started with USAID. and the Consumer Financial Protection Board, and they're all up in Treasury and Transportation and the EPA. They started with the agencies and departments that are specifically connected to Elon's personal wealth, not yours, his. So please stop thinking what you're doing has anything to do with you. Elon is not working for America. Elon is working for Elon. And if that means he has to do the bidding of China or Russia or Saudi Arabia, it doesn't matter. Elon's making sure that Elon is the world's first trillionaire, the untouchable king of the world. So Donald Trump may have made promises to MAGA and the American people, but Elon is just rolling him to take care of himself.
And once again, we find people that supported Donald Trump that are feeling the effects of his policies, that are...
Okay, any comments?
I agree, Shalom. I agree because you keep seeing, and they even tell you how much money he's been making off of the defense, like millions of dollars.
Exactly. All of them, it's a lot of them making millions of dollars. Yeah. Like you said,
Shalom. Shalom. Yes, that lady quoted exactly what Jasmine Crockett was saying. She said the same thing she said. And as Jasmine Crockett, Tennessee's senator or representative, she's seeing a lot of things, how Elon has got a contract for $300 million, turned around and got another contract for $400 million, and he's governing his own self. He's patrolling his own self. Like, who's going to check him? He's the one who's checking himself. That's what Donald Trump said when one of the reporters asked, who's going to look after what he's doing? And he said he's going to do it himself. So yeah, it's all crazy.
Okay, anybody else?
Shalom, brother Leonard. Yeah, just when I watched some of that meeting, some of that cabinet meeting, he's always standing up in these meetings. Even that is like disrespectful in a sense. And I mean, he's a billionaire. I understand he's not dressed the same suit and tie, but I mean, he got a black hat on in these meetings. He's standing up. He's talking over them. I mean, he's definitely flexing power, but it's just outrageous. I haven't seen this before in politics, like growing up, to where somebody undermining the president and government officials like that in public like that.
Oh yeah, and it's a reason for it. Like I said, when you go back to how they operate, they create a problem. They got a problem or somewhere they want to be, and they're gonna create a problem, and then you start begging for it, for them to fix the problem, and then when they come to fix the problem, is the answer for what they wanted already. So they doing this out in the open, people looking at it, so they causing this problem. Now they in the streets. Now they finna drop the hammer. They finna do exactly what they want to do. Now that they got the people in the streets begging and protesting. That's how they operate. They've been doing that for forever. Even the Roman senators and the Caesars was doing this. Oh yeah. It's no way under the sun. Like I said, I already knew something was up when. How can a man have 32 felony counts? He was still being considered for president. You know what I'm saying? Why the people ain't throw his ass out in the streets? How you still the president and everybody still foaming behind you? You got 32 felony counts. So you already know something up right there. And then now this dude, he didn't even get elected, but he's up in the White House. And then now to the point where he all up in sensitive places dealing with the government, and he's not even elected official. And the president don't even have that authority. Even though you're the president, you can't bring somebody in there and then start saying he's gonna go in here and do this. He gonna go, no, he gonna get kicked out. According to, when you look at actually how the government is set up, but nothing is going by the government. That's the crazy part about it. So it's something seriously finna happen. It's just a matter of time. But we saw how I played the video last night. Well, 10 of the largest cities, they almost like ghost towns. Downtown, you know, only people there are the homeless people that's you know got the wrong end of the stick. So that's not gonna get better. That's gonna get worse. Anybody else got any comments?
Oh, shalom, brother Leonard. I seen too. They said that Elon Musk, his official position is they said he's called a special government employee and a special government, and they said too he's actually not the administrator of Doge. They said it was they said it was some dude the other day. Now they said it's some lady. But why is he there always talking? But you know how you were talking about those first 100 days or 120 days or whatever like that of the presidency.
Right.
They said the special government employee can only work on the cabinet for 130 days. So I'm curious to see if it goes past that, if his involvement goes past that.
Oh yeah, whatever they got planned, it's gonna be a done deal by 130 days. On the rate they going. Oh yeah, and something happened with the other guy. What his name? They was in there with him at first. They booted him out of there. Can't think it's the Indian guy.
Right. Yes, sir. Yeah, he's gone.
Right. Is there something?
Shalom,
Anybody else got
everyone.
anything? Yeah.
Yes, sir, I do. I just wanted to mention a little something. Don't know if you guys have been watching this or not, but they have created a website which is called Doge, right? .gov, DOGE.gov, and every seem like hour on the hour, they are posting messages claiming to have canceled certain projects, so forth, right? So when Elon Musk first started this, I don't know if you guys saw the video where he mentioned that every time they cancel something, he gets a certain amount from that money, right? So he's still getting paid from cutting off certain grants or doing certain things. So I'm just going to read this one. This one was today at 6:53 a.m. It says that great job by Secretary Vet Affairs at Department Vet Affairs. This included canceling a $3 million contract for organizational cultural training to instruct VA leadership on what culture and values they have, right? So it says that no more paying consultants to do things like make PowerPoint slides and write meeting minutes. So as they are canceling out these things, Elon Musk is still receiving a certain amount of money depending on what the amount is from their, from them canceling certain things. So we got to pay attention to that too. And like I say, you guys can kind of watch this website. I do, just to see the foolishness that they're posting.
Okay. Right. Anybody else have anything?
Oh, shalom. I'm sorry, brother Leonard. Did you see the gold card that they came out with? The $5 million gold card?
No, I ain't seen that. What's up with it?
So in that same meeting, the gold card he introduced it and said it'll be out in the next few weeks. But it's a luxury green card. So you pay $5 million and then you basically got access to citizenship. But they asked in the meeting, they said, well, don't you need Senate to do that? And he kept saying, no, we don't need Senate to do it because it's not official citizenship.
What is it?
Right, that's what I'm saying. But that's exactly what he said. But he said it's a pathway to citizenship. So he said, yeah, wealthy immigrants are gonna be buying it. And then they mentioned the number of how many people, how many of those they need to sell to pay the debt. They said they're gonna pay the debt off under Trump doing the gold cards.
Right, exactly. Right. I've been watching this, tracking it, and some of the things I really don't say nothing about. But okay, you remember Trump back in the day? To me, he was always like a cartoon character. He wasn't to be trusted, and you couldn't take him serious when he had that show. You Fired, right?
The Apprentice, yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah, that's not look how that's being incorporated in this. You see what I'm saying? And then the other one was I lost it. It'll come back. But yeah, so it was one other thing that he was doing that didn't make no sense to me. It was oh yeah. What you're looking at now, if you go back, and I don't know if anybody ever watched that first one that came out, the Hunger Games. And it just seems as if, you see what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden, like he's saying, a $500 gold card. That's for elite people.
5 million.
Yes.
Yeah, 5 million. I mean, 5 million. So imagine what immigrant you know with $5 million. You see what I'm saying?
Right. He said it's for high level people. That's what he said. Like,
right.
You know, like you said, he just coming up with more ways to make more money.
Like money, but it's what they doing. Like if you go back to the Hunger Games, remember how the very, very, very poor was they lived down in a certain place, and the elite was way up somewhere else. They had created what had happened, according to the movie. They had created a big rift between the very rich and the very poor. There wasn't nothing else in the middle.
Shalom.
I
Go
said
ahead.
that. And when he was in before, you look at all the things that Trump comes up with, like the shoes, the guitar, cards, things like that. He turns it into money, ways to sell things, and people are running out and buying it. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's all about the amount of money they can make because they're greedy. That's just who they are as people. They are greedy.
Exactly. And
Shalom.
then knowing what's going to happen too. They're getting it while they can. Go ahead.
Yes. So as they're speaking of money and trying to get all this money, I thought the dollar was going to be out, devalued. It's no longer going to be worth anything. So we're looking down the line of 20 years, 30 years, not being something to have.
No.
So they were saying that just to get people riled up.
Now, the dollar gonna go away. The dollar gonna go away soon. It's just that by the time when it do, they've not already lined everything up the way they want it. But the dollar ain't gonna make it. If you paying attention to it, it's not, when you see what's going on around the world, dollar is no way the dollar gonna make it.
So they're trying to get all this. Oh, go ahead, Murph.
No, I apologize. Go ahead.
I say so they're getting all this money probably to purchase gold or to, because I know the West is not going to be a part of it.
They're going back to the gold standard. That's where it was at before the dollar came.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they're trying to get the Fort Knox now.
Right. And so when you look at that, that's back on biblical standards. Get back to the gold. That's how the Lord of hosts operates. So he the one. He the puppet master. Right. So like I was saying before, everybody they want to deal with, they want the new thing. You know what I'm saying? No, we created the Lord of hosts cast us off. He said for 3 days in Hosea chapter 6. Okay. Can somebody read that? Hosea 6 verses 1, 2, and 3, I think. When you get it, let me know. So yeah. So when he said 3 days or 2 days, what Hosea said, 2 days, which is 1,000 years is 1 day with the Lord. So 2,000 years, then in the 3rd day, he was gonna come back and get us. That's where we at. So that's how that's working. And it ain't no new thing. He didn't give Moses them no cryptocurrency when they left Egypt. He didn't give Jerubbaal no cryptocurrency. He the one who created the gold. He gave them the gold. He gave them gold when they left Egypt. And he gave them gold when they left Babylon. And the stage being set, brought right back around again now. We're going back to the gold standard because that's how he operate off of.
Shalom, Brother Leonard. You said Hosea 2?
6.
Okay. Hosea 6. In 1?
Yeah, start at 1 and see what it should say. Let me see what it say.
Yes, sir. It says, come and let us return unto the Lord. Okay. Come and let us return unto the Lord, for he hath torn and he will heal us. He hath smitten and he will bind us up. Oh, yeah. After 2 days, he will revive us. And the 3rd day, he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight. Then we shall know if we follow unto the Lord, his going forth is prepared as the morning, and he shall come unto us as the rain, as the latter and the former rain onto the earth. O Ephraim, what shall I do unto thee? O Judah, what shall I do unto thee? For your goodness is as a morning cloud, and as an early dew goeth away. Therefore I have hewed them by the prophets, I have slain them by the words of my mouth, and your judgments are as the light that goeth forth. For I have desired mercy and not sacrifice, and the knowledge of God more than burnt offerings. But they, like men, have transgressed the covenant. The covenant. There have they dealt treacherously against me. Gilead is a city of them that work iniquity, and is polluted with blood. And as and as troops of robbers wait for a man, so the company of priests murder in the way by consent, for they commit lewdness. I have seen and okay, yes, sir.
Yeah, so he said 2 days. That's one day is 1,000 years with the Lord. So we said that you got to go back to Isaiah 53. He said he bruised us. He used all them words in the first verse. Israel, he cast us off. So we've been cast off. That's when the tribulation started. And so now we at the end of the tribulation. So it ain't nothing they can come up with that's gonna alter what the Most High gonna do. We see in the past. There ain't nothing they can do to alter what he's when the time comes for him to bring the punishment, it ain't nothing they can do. And that's where we at. It ain't working. Ain't there something?
Yes, sir. So we're at the end of the 3rd day.
Right. That's where we at. We looking dead at it. It's over with. He's getting ready to raising us up. That's tied to Isaiah 60 that I'm all constantly reading. When you see the Lord of hosts risen over us, we know it's hammer time. All we gotta do now is we see what he's doing. It's over.
Right, just
Like I
wait
said
on it.
before. Yeah, you just gotta wait on it. He tell you that. I keep telling you that over and over again. That's where it's at. They scrambling. Like I said before, they listen to everything we doing. They hearing this conversation. They want this little conversation to stay where it's at. Not they don't want Negroes, the Israelites, to get hold to this and expand, which is what it's gonna do. But they don't want it to happen, because when it happens, that's it. Nobody don't want to hear nothing but about JC. Look how long we've been snowed in by that ideology. Come on, man. Yeah.
Shalom.
Somebody got something?
Yes, sir. Shalom. In Isaiah 60, like you said, I just want to read this. It says, verse 60 that you talk about. 1, arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and the gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee, and the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and the kings to the brightness of thy rising. Lift up thy eyes around about and see all that gather themselves together. They come to thee. Thy sons shall come from afar, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side. This is when you were talking about, it's time. It's in that third part. And is this the verse in Isaiah 60 that you're talking about?
Right. It's the same. It's talking about the same thing.
Yes, sir.
The time that came, the 2 days and he read it in the third day. The same thing right there. The rise and shine, for the light has come. That's the third day.
Yes, sir.
And then in Isaiah 44, see, he's gonna pour his spirit out on us, and then the spirit is he's gonna pour it out over everybody, but the Israelite is the one gonna respond to it. Everybody ain't gonna respond to it. And that's where we at. There's nothing they can do. They don't have nothing on the earth that's gonna stop that. They can't stop it. And that's what's happening. So that's how that works.
All praise.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, so I'm gonna talk about this right quick. Well, first of all, go back to that one day with the Lord. So we see the same thing in Genesis. This just for a golden nugget for people that might not know. But he told Adam, the day that you eat of this fruit is the day you're gonna die. That's pertaining to that 1,000 years. If you go back and look at how long all of them lived, one of them lived. Methuselah got the closest. He lived 970 or something like that, 80 some years. He didn't get to a day. And some of them lived 700, 800, but no man lived a whole 1,000 years with the Lord. That's what that's all about for people that don't know. And the same thing right there with that is when he says 2 days, it's 2,000 years. He cast us off. And that's what that's all about. So, I'm just going to shine a light on this, the question that the guy was talking about when he said the Lord of hosts. I mean, it was Yahweh that told Moses to sacrifice Isaac, right? So when he said that, he also said that I'm trying to figure out how to say this. He says that he wouldn't let me see how he said that. He said he wouldn't it's not given for a man to sacrifice the human, right? So in that same essence, just to rightly divide it, our God, you answer your own question. Our God wouldn't even tell a man to sacrifice no human. So that answers your question right there. It can't be him that told him that sacrifice him, because the righteous God ain't gonna tell Abraham to sacrifice nobody? So that answers your own question. But I want to go back and read this right quick. It says, Noah's sons. We know the story on Noah's son, but it said the people that was with Noah was led astray by evil spirits. So Noah prayed in Mainster and the death of Noah. This is the name of this chapter. Book of Jubilees. And so our point is, I wanted to read it was, first of all, this is how we know in the book of Enoch how evil spirits came on the earth. Evil spirits came on the earth when those giants, when those angels came down, the 200 angels came down, slept with women and they created giants. Well, that giant didn't, that spirit that's in that giant, it didn't come from heaven. It came from the disobedient angels went into those women and got that the flesh. It didn't come. The flesh is distorted because it's angelic flesh that mixed with human flesh, and then the spirit that's in the giant, it ain't come from him. So when that giant died, that spirit remained on the earth. It can't ascend because it didn't come from heaven. But the spirit that's in Adam and Adam's descendants and the people of God, when they die, the body goes back to the dust and the spirit ascends. But with those angels, and he got people on the earth, but the most I could continue to talk about, wicked ass folks that we don't see in the connected dots, that when they die, that spirit don't ascend. David keep telling us that go down into the pit. Those that go down into the pit. When they die, that flesh deteriorates and that spirit goes down. But Israelites and the Most High people, when that spirit goes to the dust, that flesh goes to the dust, and that spirit arise and go back to heaven, like he said. Moses died on Mount Nemo, and the spirit went to his fathers, which is in heaven, chambers that's in heaven. So these wicked spirits right here, when the flood came, it killed. We don't know how many giants it was. It was millions of giants that died, that the water flooded over and killed. Well, you got all these spirits that came from there. When that giant drowned it or however he died from the destruction, then all these wicked spirits came from that. So when Noah and them finally settled on Mount Ararat and the water receded, here come all these wicked ass spirits from these giants that had drowned it. So let me read some of it. It says, and this the origins of wicked spirits, right? So it says, in the third week of the Jubilees, the unclean demons. See, we like I said before with us, the transatlantic slave trade. We was throwed off coming up, and you go to a history class, and they bring up the transatlantic slave trade, and that's it. We don't know. It's a whole bunch of history before the transatlantic slave trade about us. We have a blackout, right, for the transatlantic slave trade on the west coast of Africa. And the same thing with this. We hear the pastor and all these nut buckets talking about wicked ass spirits, but what's the origin of them? Where they come from? Okay, so anyway, it says, and the third week, in the third week of the Jubilees, the unclean demons begin to lead astray the children of sons of Noah, and to make to error and destroy them. And the sons of Noah came to Noah, their father, and they told him concerning the demons, which were leading astray and blinding and slaying his sons. And he prayed before the Lord, his God, and said, the God of spirits of all flesh, who has shown mercy unto me, and has saved me and my sons from the waters of the flood, and has not caused me to perish as thou didst the sons of perdition. So there you go right here. So it's a whole bunch in this that I was telling you about, but they didn't trick us off with these words and ideologies. So we are always hearing about son of perdition, Antichrist. son of perdition, right? Okay. So right here it says, and thou hast not caused Noah talking to the Lord of hosts. It says, thou hast caused me that has not caused me to perish as thou did the sons of perdition. So who was the sons of perdition? The giants. The flood on them. So if a son of perdition come in the last days, it got to be a giant. But we know it ain't true. But they bouncing off of this. Like I said, it ain't nothing but it's a story they concocted. Okay. So it ain't no. You just don't pull son of perdition out the sky. It's got origins, and here go the origins right here. These giants is sons of perdition. Now they just stuck it on the Antichrist. Let that firm anyway. So say for thy grace has thou great toward me, and great have thou seen, has thy mercy been toward my soul. Let thy grace be lifted up upon my sons, and let not wicked spirits rule over them, lest they should destroy them from the earth. But do thou bless me and my sons, that we may increase and multiply and replenish the earth. And thou knowest how thy watchers and thy fathers of the spirits, see that? These fallen angels, father of the spirits, acted in my day, and for these spirits which are living, imprison them and hold them fast. Hold on a minute. Hold them fast in the place of condemnation, and let them not bring destruction on the sons of thy servants, my God, for these are malignant and is created in order to destroy. So this is my point right here. Like I was saying before, the Greeks and the Romans, when you go back and you do your research on them, they don't want to wear no clothes. They're homosexuals, and they don't want to wear no clothes, and that's how their culture was, right? And they built gymnasiums. The gymnasium was for to go in the gymnasium for the older man to go in and look at the little boys, and then he figure out which one little boy he liked, and he go and offer his parents be his tutor, and then that's how that worked. So we in gymnasiums now. All the states we got gymnasium. We thinking that we got that gymnasium mean something else totally different than them than us. But we throw. So like I said before, with these evil wicked ass spirits, notice what. Let me read this. It says, let me see if I'm in the right place. Okay, let me get it. So it says that. Let me get it. Yeah, it says, and in the third week of this jubilee, unclean demons begin to lead astray the children of the sons of Noah. So it says that, what are you talking about? These wicked spirits came and started leading astray sons of Noah to the point where they had to come to Noah and tell them, go pray to the Lord of hosts. They dealing with us. So they ain't gone. They ain't gone. So what they doing? They still doing the same thing, but you've been brainwashed and thinking that that's you. When a wicked ass thought come to you and persistently keep on for you, oh, go talk to that nigga, go talk to him. He got it going on. Go and keep on. That's the wicked ass spirit. All this wicked ass shit that's going on, that's who coercing it. But we dumb to the fact that we living in the world, we don't know nothing about all that. Like I said, we've been taken from our environment, first of all, over here. And your mother is the earth where you was born at, where the Most High, the land was divided up. That's your mother. So we've been taking mother, we way over here. Then we over here, it's wicked ass spirits that's dealing with you. You thinking you done went to school, they told you the cerebellum and the brain, the idiom and the E and all that. No, it's wicked ass spirits that's coercing you, tormenting you, got you doing all kind of crazy shit. And you thinking it's you making the decision on you, those suggestions that's coming to you is you. No. And so you say, what are you talking about? Well, before the angels came, slept with the women, what no wicked ass spirits. What nobody doing the stuff that's going on now, because there wasn't no wicked ass spirits. But when the angels slept with those giants, they giant died, then wicked spirits came on the scene. So like I said before, first of all, you are already in a damn gymnasium, a homosexual architecture. You're in a gymnasium, and then you got wicked ass spirits, but you don't know nothing about neither one of them. Come on. That's what's been done to us. And you thinking that you got a whole nother world that you got going on. And then you go look at like I said before, it was the educational side of it. The Most High said that it's two different types of knowledge. He told the Israelites, don't deal with their knowledge. What's our knowledge? The Torah. So that's 3 strikes right there. You grabbing hold to Leviathan tail and don't even know it. Yeah, so okay. With anybody got any comments or anything before we go? I'm gonna cut that off.
Shalom. I just wanted to go to First Enoch in chapter 4, where Enoch is telling Methuselah, his son, the dreams, and he says in chapter 84 and 1, and I lift up my hands in righteousness and blesses the holy and great one, and spoke with the breath of my mouth and with the tongue of flesh, which God has made for children of the flesh of men that should speak with. And he gave them breath and a tongue and a mouth that they should speak with them. Blessed are you, O Lord King, great and mighty in your greatness, Lord, of the whole creations of the heaven, King of kings and God of the whole world. And your power and kingship and greatness abide forever and ever. And throughout all generations, your dominion and all the heavens are your throne forever, and the whole earth your footstool forever and ever. For you have made and you rule all things. And nothing is too hard for you. Wisdom does not depart from your place of your throne, nor turns away from your presence. And you know and see and hear everything, and there is nothing hidden from you. And now the messengers of your heavens are guilty of trespass, and your wrath abides on the flesh of men until the day of judgment, of great day of judgment. And now, O God and Lord and great King, I exceedingly implore you to fulfill my prayer, to leave me a prosperity on earth, and not destroy all the flesh of man, and make the earth without inhabitant, so that therefore be a continuous destruction. And now, my Lord, destroy from the earth the flesh which has aroused your wrath, but establish the flesh of righteousness and uprightness as a plant of the continuous seed, and do not hide your face from the prayer of your servant, O Lord. Here, excuse me, that was Enoch 1, chapter 84, 1 through 6. Here is he talking at the end of when the flood will happen in the future, because this is Enoch. That was Noah keeping the righteous seed.
Right. Yeah, that's what he's talking about. But yeah,
Yes.
but if you look at that, you can see that's where the JC come in there. They got Noah is the one. He's like the custodian. He's the custodian of Noah's children.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean of Adam's children. And so he's concerned that a righteous seed is left when the flood comes. He know the flood coming, so he's concerned that a seed is saved. He's saying, don't wipe all of them out. Leave a righteous seed.
Yes, sir.
So that's the same. So that's where they, like I was saying, when they got out our scriptures, they translated it into English. I mean, into Greek over there. That's how, but by them reading it, that's how they come up with the character JC. JC ain't nothing but Enoch.
Shalom. Thank you, sir.
Right. Okay. Anybody else got anything before we go?
Brother Leonard, with that, I've seen too they call Enoch Metatron and JC Metatron and all that. So that's that connection they was trying to make or whatever. Have you heard of Metatron?
Oh yeah. I got the book, but it's on the shelf where it's supposed to be. But anyway, it was what happened with that is, like I said, these Greeks, they throw it off. So I was telling you about the Egyptians, because they got a hold of their book too. They saw that the reason why the sun was worshipped in Egypt was because they personified the sun like a man. They gave the sun human characteristics. So Greeks, like I said, when they come, they illiterate. When they came, they took the sun out the sky and made a man out of it. That's how you get the Black Madonna and the Child and the Christos. And so the same thing what they did in their mind. Like I said, look at the book of Job. Don't know Hebrew. It's like talk to the Lord of hosts like Job talking to him. That's Greek shit. So anyway, so he said, I lost my train of thought. Say that question again.
So about Metatron, Enoch,
Yeah,
and JP.
okay, Metatron. So when you go to Metatron, they saw that Enoch was taken up into heaven, right? That he didn't die. So that in their mind, they said that for him to be taken up, the Most High had to change him to an angel. That's how you get Metatron. And so you got all these angels in heaven, and then when Enoch was breaking up, Enoch was turned into an angel. He's Metatron. So all the angels in heaven, when they seen Enoch, they knew that he's the angel that at one time he was a man. He's Metatron, so he's, saying, and the reason why it's garbage was because of now they done elevated Metatron over Michael.
Right. Yes, sir. I've seen that.
Right. So that's how you know it's garbage. So that's the psychology behind Greek psychology behind Metatron, is that he was Enoch was taken to heaven, but he was transformed into an angel, so that he could stay in heaven. So you know me, I'm gonna say, well, damn, what happened to Elijah? And what's his name?
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, but that's the origins of Metatron. That's what they call Hellenization. When the Greeks came on the scene, they brought that Greek thought and just influenced all the religions they came in contact with. That's how you get Christianity. From all the religions, when Alexander was conquering all those countries, Buddhism, all that's tied into Christianity. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else got anything? Everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Women's advanced Bible study tomorrow night. Men can come in through YouTube, and like I was saying, I'll be out of pocket Friday and Saturday, and I'm gonna come back on Sunday for our Sunday Advanced Bible Study. Okay, and when you pick it up from there, I should be lined out by then. Okay, shalom, shalom, and another shalom. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Shalom.
Shalom, everyone.
Shalom.
Shalom.
I highly recommend that you get this book and you read it because it's a must that you understand who God head is in the order that's in the Old Testament in Tanak, because it's not the same as in the New Testament. And when you read this and you get an understanding, then the scriptures open up and then you begin to understand. So I highly recommend that you get this book. It's the Elohim of Israel, and it's a breakdown on the word Elohim and who the God of Israel is and the Godhead.